Okay, this one is about poetry comprehension. This is a new concept that was that was introduced into your question paper once the textbook changed. I felt this was very essential for me to discuss about poetry comprehension with you. Though it does not seem very difficult, but poem and understanding poem and answering the questions, comprehending the poem is slightly a tough one. Instead of poetry, if it was a composition, it was a big passage, your passage comprehension, which is for 10 marks, I think that is still more easy for you, because you have to read it. It is just a story or an essay that is given. Most of the times you try to find the answers from the essay itself and you try to write the answer as it is. You try to reproduce the sentences. But here it is slightly difficult because you need to understand. But one thing, let us be very clear, you don't have to think too much about it, because the questions are very direct. They just talk about whatever 3-4 lines that are given to you, and the questions, as I told you, they are directly based on the sentences that are here. I'll be giving you 2 examples in this session. There are 2 poems, and the textbook itself tells that the question paper has to be set in such a way that the poems have to be taken from your text only. So nowhere else can these poems can be taken from. So these are the 2 poems that are from your text. I've just taken 2 poems. Let me very quickly, briefly tell you how to answer them. The first poem has around 5 lines. Lord, I'm so tired, I entered the world. Far have I wandered since the cock crew, and the road to school is steep. Lord, I do not want to go into their school. This is the behavior of a child probably, who tries to say that the road is very steep and I don't want to go. I've got up early in the morning. I just want to relax now. I don't want to go to school at all. And I've been wandering since the morning. That is how I've been doing. It does not require any kind of explanation also. So you'll have to understand. I can understand that you will take 2 readings for it. You'll have to take 2 readings. You just read it once again, then understand it, and then you have to answer the question. Lord, I'm so tired that I entered the world. Far have I travelled, wandered since the cock crew, and the road to school is steep. Lord, I do not want to go into their school. I do not want to go into their school. First one, who is addressed by the speaker? The speaker, I. Whom is he talking to? Who is addressed? Again, this one, the question is in passive voice. Okay, who is addressed by the speaker? Of course, it is the Lord. So you'll write down, the Lord is addressed by the speaker. What time of the day does since the cock crew mean? What does it suggest? When does the cock crow, and then when do we start our day because of the cock crowing? So it's usually the morning. So what time of the day does it suggest? It suggests the morning time. Usually people get up early in the morning and start with their work. Off late, on and off, the cock starts, it just keeps crowing. But usually cock crowing it suggests and refers to the morning time. The third question, how is the road to the school according to the speaker? As I told you, the sentences, they might look scary for you. You might feel that you cannot be comprehending it at all. But once you read the questions, you will understand the questions are very, very direct. They can be easily understood and easily comprehended. So how is the road to the school? The question the answer is here in the passage itself. The road to the school is very steep. Steep means very, it's uphill, but it is not a very inclined one. It's too much of a it's not a very oblique one. It's a very narrow and a steep one. He has to climb lot of steps and he has to reach the school. So he says that it is tough to go to the school. So let us not think too much about the poem. Why does the poet say this and all those things? It's a different question. But all we have to understand is read these lines and then comprehend it and write the answers for it. So again, when you are writing the answer here, you will have to write the correct question number and then write down these sub-question numbers and then write only the answer. That will be sufficient for you. You don't have to write anything else at all. Second example here. 2 roads diverged in a yellow wood, and sorry, I couldn't travel both, and be one traveler long, and be one traveler. Long I stood and looked down, one as far as I could, to where it bent in the undergrowth. Undergrowth is a marshy place, it just goes down and starts growing there. The road just goes there and there are tall grasses everywhere. So the poet here, he says that in a yellow wood, wood refers to the forest. He just stands there. There are two roads that are diverging. He doesn't know which road to take. He stands there for a long time and he could, he stood and looked down on one of the road. He just wanted to travel on both the sides, both the roads, but he says, I'm sorry, I couldn't travel on both the roads, and I could not be one traveler. One traveler traveling on two roads is impossible. Though my heart wished for it, though I wanted to do it, I couldn't do, because it was practically not possible. So I stood there and I stared at the road for a long time, and then I just fixed my focus, fixed my sight on one particular road which just went and bent, and then it just disappeared into the undergrowth. This is the theme of it. Now coming to the comprehensions, the questions here, where did the two roads diverge? Where did it diverge? In the poem, in the 4 or 5 lines, we have the answer. The two roads diverged in a yellow wood. The word both in the second line refers to two dash. Travelers, woods and roads. I'm sorry, I could not travel both. What does it refer to? He could not travel both. Both refers to the two roads. I'm sorry, I could not travel on both the roads. The third one, what did the traveler do when he came across the two diverged roads? He just sees the diverged road. What does he do over there? He stood. He stood for a long time and looked down upon one road for a long time. So that is the answer. He just stands there and he stares at one road. He waits. He just wants to know where it leads to, what it leads to. Okay, this is how you'll have to understand the poem and read the answers for the comprehension questions. But one thing that you'll have to be very strong about it is you will not have anybody to explain the poem to you. So you have to do a kind of self-reading. That's why I told you, even if you don't understand it for the first time, go for a second reading, go for a third reading, just do it again and again. You'll definitely understand. And moreover, you're all blessed that the questions are not very twisted, it's a very direct questions, so you can somehow finish it off. Okay, this is how, just 2 examples for poetry comprehension, and this one is for 3 marks and you have done with 1 3-mark question. Okay, all the best and see you in the next session.
Yeah, good evening students. I hope the session was good. You enjoyed it. As I have told you before, hopefully enough content was taken down, and now Vandana Shiva lesson looks a piece of cake. Okay, so that's all for today as such, but I want to talk to you about tomorrow's session, which is very, very important. We have given 1 full hour session only dedicating to the most difficult part of the whole question paper called, try to guess that? Exactly, reported speech. If you have analyzed the question paper, that is one difficult part what you are going to go through, reported speech. Now what is the psychology is actually, listen to this, it's very interesting. Our valuation, how it goes is, you can score up to 95, 96, everything is fair and fine. You know where we cut your marks down? First thing is we search for the reported speech, and you will make, surely there is a mistake from is to was, you will not convert it. Usually I'll tell this also, in the reported speech you go on doing the answer, you go on writing the answer, the last line, the last pronoun, you miss it. I don't know, see, just feel it. Has it happened when you have been doing the exams till now? No, has it happened? It is one issue which is always a problem, I feel. Or I'm not telling the last pronoun only, but one pronoun will be missed and half mark goes, and then you're all like, oh goodness, it is so easy. It was and is I could not do. That's how you're going to bang your head. So here we are for tomorrow's morning session. You're going to have reported speech. Now again, all the patience on earth, you bring it down and keep it here with you for 1 hour session. You are going to learn reported speech. Now take it from me, reported speech is the sentence, the kind of question. First I'll talk about question paper. As I told, it is one of the things which are going to, not that we are going to cut to marks, please don't going to take it like that, but we are going to scrutinize to see whether you really know the rules and you have implemented it. This is where I think quite a few of our students, it's a 5-mark question, quite a few of our students, go with 4, 4.5 and then 96, 95, 98 and then that big issue happens as such. So one thing is the question paper, question number 26 I feel is the one which is supposed to be focusing on tomorrow and focus on to it very, very strongly. 26 ಅಲ್ಲ 27 100% 27 ಅದು. ಸೊ ಒನ್ ಥಿಂಗ್ ಇಸ್ ದ್ಯಾಟ್. ಸೆಕೆಂಡ್ ಥಿಂಗ್ ಇಸ್ ರಿಪೋರ್ಟ್ ಸ್ಪೀಚ್ ಇದು ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆನ್ಸ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ ಐ ಜಸ್ಟ್ ವಾಂಟ್ ಟು ಟಾಕ್ ಅಬೌಟ್ ಇಟ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಕ್ಲೋಸ್ ಇಟ್ ಆ್ಯಕ್ಚುಲಿ. ಸಿ ವೆನ್ ಯು ಟಾಕ್ ಅಬೌಟ್ ರಿಪೋರ್ಟೆಡ್ ಸ್ಪೀಚ್, ಐ ಟೀಚ್ ಫಾರ್ CA ಕ್ಲಾಸಸ್ ಆಲ್ಸೋ, CA ಫೌಂಡೇಶನ್ ಕ್ಲಾಸಸ್ ಆಲ್ಸೋ. ದೇರ್ ಇನ್ ಕ್ವಶನ್ ಪೇಪರಲ್ಲಿ ಇಂಗ್ಲೀಷ್ ಇದೆ, ಕ್ವಶನ್ ಪೇಪರ್ ಇದೆ, ಇಂಗ್ಲೀಷಲ್ಲಿ ಬರುವಂಥ ಕ್ವಶನ್ಸಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದಿಷ್ಟು ಚಂಕ್ ಮೇ ಬಿ 5 ರಿಂದ 8 ಕ್ವಶನ್ಗಳು ರಿಪೋರ್ಟ್ ಸ್ಪೀಚ್ ಮೇಲೆ, active passive ಮೇಲೆ and report speech ಮೇಲೆ. And this report speech will go with you for further down, maybe wherever there are competitive examination, somehow directly or indirectly you will be going through this part called reported speech. Moreover, if you are planning anything in your life, ನೀವು ಯಾವುದಾದ್ರೂ ಒಂದು ಜಾಬ್ ಹೋಗ್ತೀರಾ, ಯು ನೀಡ್ ಅ ಬೆಟರ್ ಕನ್ವರ್ಸೇಷನ್ ಕಂಡೀಷನ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ, ಅಲ್ಲಿ ದೇ ವಾಂಟ್ ಯು ಟು ಕಮ್ಯುನಿಕೇಟ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ. ಈ ರಿಪೋರ್ಟೆಡ್ ಸೆನ್ಸ್ ಏನಿದೆ, ಒಬ್ಬ ಹೇಳಿದ್ದನ್ನು ಇನ್ನೊಬ್ಬನಿಗೆ ಹೇಳುವಂಥ ವಿಷಯ, ನ್ಯೂಸ್ ರೀಡರ್ಸ್ ಆಗ್ಬೋದು, ಹೀಗೆ ಯಾವುದಾದ್ರೂ ಚಾನಲ್ ಕೂತ್ಕೊಂಡು ನೀವು ಮಾತಾಡ್ತಾ ಇರ್ಬೋದು, ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಆಗ ಹೌ ಡು ಯು ಫ್ರೇಸ್ ಯುವರ್ ಸೆಂಟೆನ್ಸ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಟಾಕ್, ಯು ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟು ಗೋ ಟು ರಿಪೋರ್ಟೆಡ್ ಪಾರ್ಟ್ ಓನ್ಲಿ. ಯು ಕಾಂಟ್ ಸಿಂಪ್ಲಿ ಸೇ ಅವರ್ ಪೊಲಿಟಿಷಿಯನ್ ಸೆಡ್ ದಿಸ್ ಅಂತೇಳಿ ಸೀದಾ ಮಾತಾಡಲಿಕ್ಕಾಗಲ್ಲ. ಯು ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟು ರಿಪೋರ್ಟ್ ವಾಟ್ ದೇ ಆರ್ ಸೇಯಿಂಗ್. ಸೊ ಆ ರಿಪೋರ್ಟ್ನ ಸೆನ್ಸ್ ಏನಿದೆ, mostly it will come throughout your life. That is why we consider it as a very important chapter in your teaching tenure as such, I mean learning tenure as such. And this is not just tomorrow's session. Of course it is going to give you that edge on getting all those full 5 marks for your question paper, but there is something beyond it, there is something more for it in the reported speech, and hopefully you will have a hang of that thought. Puna ade pustaka tagoli, pen tagoli, kutkoli, relax agi 1 hour full session. Maybe I would call, I will say, ನಂಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಿದ್ದಾಗೆ ಡಿಗ್ರಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಅಥವಾ ನೀವು ಹೋಗ್ತಿರೋ ಪ್ರೊಫೆಷನಲ್ ಕಾಲೇಜಸಲ್ಲಿ ಸಹ ಇಂಗ್ಲೀಷ್ ಇದು ರಿಪೋರ್ಟೆಡ್ ಸ್ಪೀಚ್ ಪುನಃ ಕಲಿಸೋ ವ್ಯವಸ್ಥೆ ನನ್ನ ಲೆಕ್ಕದಲ್ಲಿ ನಂಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಿದ್ದಾಗೆ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಐ ಡೋಂಟ್ ನೋ ಎಲ್ಲ ಸಿಲೆಬಸ್ ನಂಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ಲ, ಬಟ್ ನಂಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಿರೋ ಹಾಗೆ ಕ್ವೈಟ್ ಅ ಫ್ಯೂ ಸಿಲೆಬಸ್ ಐ ನೋ. ಸೊ ವಾಟ್ ಐ ಅಂಡರ್ಸ್ಟ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ಇಸ್ ದಿಸ್ ಇಸ್ ಯೋರ್ ದ ಅಲ್ಟಿಮೇಟ್ ಲರ್ನಿಂಗ್ ಆಫ್ ರಿಪೋರ್ಟೆಡ್ ಸ್ಪೀಚ್. ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ರೂಮಲ್ಲಿ ಏನು ಮಾಡಿದ್ರು ದೇವರಿಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತು. ಇವತ್ತು ಈ ಸತಿ ರಿಪೋರ್ಟೆಡ್ ಸ್ಪೀಚ್ ನಾಳೆ ಬರ್ತಾ ಇದೆ, ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಸಿ ದಟ್ ಯು ಗೋನ್ ಟು ಮೇಕ್ ಯೂಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಇಟ್ ಟು ದ ಮ್ಯಾಕ್ಸಿಮಮ್. ಮೇ ನಾಟ್ ಬಿ ಫಾರ್ ಲೈಫ್ ಫಾರ್ 5 marks, if not for 5 marks for life. Both the ways you are the winners out there. So enjoy the session tomorrow and keep yourself healthy. Please stay home. It's the safest place on earth. Thank you very much.